I belong to you.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kelsey here, Law & Order SVU OC fan. Today's video is actually going to be a very interesting topic. It's actually going to be about Elliot and Kathy's marriage, and of course Elliot and Olivia's relationship and how it factored into his marriage. So starting with season 1, in my opinion, I think Elliot and Kathy were a very loving couple to each other. I think that you kind of see Elliot being, a good husband and father. Of course, he's a cop, so that's a very stressful and emotional job considering he works in sex crimes. Those cases are, they deal with, children especially sometimes. So I think it must have been very hard for him, to try and not bring that home to Kathy and the kids. So to me, they just seem like a very loving couple, trying to, balance, work and home. I imagine was a very good, difficult challenge for him. And then Kathy, trying to be a very understanding wife and, taking care of the kids. I don't think Kathy had a problem with Olivia being his partner. I don't think, she saw her as a threat to Elliot in that way. I don't know if she ever saw Olivia in that way now that Kathy's dead. I don't think she saw, Olivia in that way, like a threat to her marriage, but I could be wrong. So then down the road, we go to season 6, where we find out that Kathy and Elliot are separated, and then you just see Elliot kind of in a downward spiral. You see him angry, you see him upset, wondering why Kathy would walk away after 20 years of marriage. She took the kids. So you can see him, kind of affecting his job too, and then his relationship with Olivia, kind of where they stand with each other. Is it something more? I'm sure they were both questioning, do I feel more for this person? They've been working side by side for now 6 years. So I'm sure that's when they kind of started questioning their feelings for each other, especially during season 7, especially after watching Fault. Then you kind of realize that, wow, I actually do feel it's more than just friendship for me, for this person. I see that for both Elliot and Olivia, in my opinion. Especially after Fall. And then of course Olivia leaves. She transfers to computer crimes, and then at the end, I think maybe 1 or 2 episodes later, she comes back to work with Elliot again. And then their partnership, it took a while for them to kind of get back into being Elliot and Olivia again, being partners and kind of bouncing off each other. So then we get to season 8, and Olivia goes undercover in Oregon, and she does this without telling Elliot where she's going and why. And then of course Elliot is, he's concerned and being protective over her. So he tries to call her to make sure she's safe and tries to check on her. And when he does, the phone's disconnected. So there's that. And then she comes back from Oregon, and then we see Elliot with Danny Beck, his temporary partner, which we all know how we feel about Danny Beck. We did not like her, especially after that kiss that happened in this season 8, episode 6. I know they were drinking, but still, I mean, come on. That was just, I think Elliot was trying to project his feelings for Olivia onto Danny, and then he ended up doing it again in Organized Crime. He projected his feelings onto Angela, his feelings for Olivia onto Angela Wheatley. So Elliot does kind of have a history about that. So then we get to see in Burned, also going back to season 8, where Kathy confronts Olivia about having Elliot sign the divorce papers. Like, she tries to convince him to she wants Olivia to convince Elliot to sign the divorce papers, because at this point they've been separated for over 2 years now, which is a very long time. And of course Olivia, she doesn't want to get involved. It's none of her business. She doesn't want to get involved in their marriage. But Kathy makes the comment to Olivia, Elliot needs to feel like that he's on solid ground, that he needs stability. And what Kathy basically is saying, that Olivia is his stability and solid ground. And then she also says, you're his partner, there are things about him that that I will never understand. And Kathy does kind of make a point. Elliot, was with Olivia all the time, more than Kathy, and Kathy probably got fed up with it, which is why she left the first time. So I really don't blame her for that, but at the same time, I understand Olivia's point at, not wanting to be involved in their marriage and that, their problems. And she's basically saying to Kathy, you guys need to work your stuff out. And then we also see Elliot going back to Kathy's at the end of one episode, where he basically says to her, I want to come home. And then we see, Kathy and I are going to meet for drinks. We're going to discuss, me coming home. And then you can kind of tell Olivia is kind of shocked by it. She's like, oh, like she wasn't expecting him to come home to her, like go back to Kathy. And that's when I think, she started, her feelings for Elliot kind of came back to the surface again. That's why she went to computer crimes towards the end of season 7 after Fall, because her feelings for Elliot just became too strong, that she realized that she felt more than friendship for Elliot. So then we go to Annihilated towards the end of season 8, where it's a very difficult and emotional case for Elliot. It's this FBI agent who is basically leading this double life, and he ends up killing his wife and his 2 kids, and it hits Elliot pretty hard. It's very emotional, very powerful, very raw episode. So towards the end of that episode, we see Elliot go back to Kathy's to check on the kids, and so he can see them and make sure that they're okay. They're sleeping in their beds. And then Kathy says to Elliot, oh, did it help? And he says, yes, it did. And then, of course, she invites him to stay. He stays, they sleep together, and then at the end of season 8, the finale, we find out that Kathy is pregnant. So that was pretty shocking, in my opinion. I wasn't expecting to have her end up pregnant. I don't think anybody was, because everybody wanted Olivia and Elliot to get together. We were this close to getting, have them to get together. There are definitely a lot of good moments between Elliot and Olivia. He was helping her, trying to find her brother, trying to find Simon. And the tension was really, really there, in my personal opinion. Like, the sexual tension was just very, very raw, like very deep. You could cut it with a knife. The tension was just so thick in the air between the two of them. It was just really there, and you could see it big time. So at the end of season 8, the finale, when Elliot finds out Kathy's pregnant, of course he's in shock. So he goes and tells Olivia. They're going through this big trial where basically the fate of the NYPD is up in the air. Their careers are up in the air. So Elliot tells Olivia that Kathy's pregnant. Olivia looks pretty shocked and pretty sad that, Kathy's pregnant. She doesn't know what to say. She says, oh, I didn't know you were coming home. And he says, I wasn't. So was him and Kathy sleeping together a one-time thing? If she hadn't gotten pregnant, would they have stayed separated? Who knows? But, that's the way that the writers chose to go. I know that they were concerned that if they put Elliot and Olivia together, that the series would end. I don't think that's the case, but maybe, I don't know, because otherwise the show wouldn't have, been on as long as it has. It's coming up in its 23rd season, which is pretty incredible for television. So we have that, and then, you could tell that Olivia, was disappointed, because now Elliot really has to go back to Kathy. He's going to do the right thing and be with her and get back together with her, because she's pregnant. So then we flash forward to Return of the Prodigal Son. Elliot was gone for 10 years, and he comes back. Him and Kathy are, they make it a trip to go to New York. It was actually Kathy's idea to go to Liv's award ceremony, which I don't know how they found out about that. I think what ended up happening was Finn got in touch with Elliot somehow and reached out to him saying, hey, Liv's getting an award. It would be nice if you were there. Elliot probably said no, he didn't want to because it was probably too painful to face her, especially after 10 years of being gone, no contact, no nothing. And then Kathy, it was actually her idea to go to the ceremony, which I think everybody's still trying to figure out why it was her idea. My guess is that Kathy finally probably confronted Elliot about his feelings for Olivia, and then she just kind of just let it go, let it happen. Even when she died at the end of Return of the Prodigal Son, Elliot makes the comment of how happy him and Kathy were, and I kind of highly doubt that they were as happy as he made it seem out to be. They could have been, I don't know, but I think what ended up happening is that Kathy did confront Elliot about his feelings for Olivia. Maybe did he admit to them or not? I don't know, but I think she just kind of let it go. Or they just stayed together just for Eli, maybe, because Eli was with them in Rome. So who knows? Maybe they'll dig deeper into that in Organized Crime Season 2, more about Elliot and Kathy's relationship, especially when they were in Rome. Were they as happy as he made it seem out to be? I don't know. My personal opinion, I don't think so. Even in the hospital, when she's lying in the bed, Kathy makes the comment, you really didn't talk for 10 years. And I don't know if she meant like she didn't know they didn't talk for 10 years, or Elliot told her that he had no contact with Olivia for 10 years, and she was probably really happy about it, having Elliot let Olivia go for her sake and for their marriage's sake, which is kind of messed up. In my opinion. I'm also thinking, did Kathy make him choose? Did she give him an ultimatum about, leaving SVU? Is it going to be SVU and Olivia, or is it going to be our marriage? I don't think she's the type of person to do that, but then again, I could be wrong. Who knows? Maybe, like I said, maybe they'll dig deeper into that in the second season of Organized Crime, what kind of person Kathy was. Because everybody said she was a saint. Elliot thinks she was a saint. Good mother, good wife. Some people think that she was involved in something really shady and dirty. I don't think she was. Of course, we find out that Angela Wheatley ordered the hit on Kathy to kill her, because it was believed that Elliot killed her son Rafi, which it turns out that was a lie, by Richard Wheatley, her ex-husband, and which was stupid for her to believe that. She wanted to make him suffer because she suffered, basically. That's why Kathy died. But we don't know, the state of Elliot and Kathy's marriage, we don't know. It's going to be an interesting way to go for the writers if they do decide to go that way for Organized Crime Season 2. So then we get to see, in the 7th episode of Organized Crime, the one true love of his life moment from Richard when he's in the interrogation room with Angela and Elliot. And that pretty much just confirms to all of us shippers out there that Elliot really was in love with Olivia for a very long time. Of course, he loved Kathy. They were married for a long time, had children together, but he wasn't in love with her. Olivia is his soulmate. He's always been in love with her, will always be in love with her. I don't know, that's going to hang over their relationship too, and does Olivia know that? I don't know. So yeah, next season's definitely going to be interesting when it comes to Elliot and Olivia's relationship, and if, they're going to mention Kathy at all. And in the first episode of Organized Crime, it only happened in the live airing, unfortunately. If you stream it the next day, they cut it out. Why they cut the scene out, I don't know, but there was a scene with all the kids at Elliot's apartment. I think it's before the funeral, Kathy's funeral. And Elliot made the comment, they were talking about Kathy, probably wondering why why she's dead. I really don't quite remember the scene all that well because, like I said, it was in the live airing. I cannot find it anywhere. But Elliot makes the comment, oh, your mother never told a lie. And then they cut the camera to Eli, and he kind of makes his face like, yeah, she lied about something. So that kind of makes us all think, was Kathy involved in something? Did she witness something? Was it about, did Eli overhear a conversation from Kathy? Was Kathy talking to somebody? We don't know. Of course, it could be just to be a one-off from the writers, like just a one and done thing. And then, of course, all of us here are just going to spiral over it. They're probably going to think it's nothing. But yeah, next season it will definitely be interesting to see if they dig deeper into Kathy and Elliot's relationship, in Rome, what it was like after he left SVU. And then, of course, Elliot and Olivia's relationship, where it's going to go from here. We did get lots of good moments between the two of them, between SVU and OC. So it's going to be very interesting in September. I cannot wait till September. I'm very excited. So I would like to know your guys' thoughts on Elliot and Kathy's marriage. Do you think Kathy was shady? Do you think she witnessed something? Where do you think Elliot and Olivia's relationship will go from there? Do you want to see, flashbacks of Elliot and Kathy in Rome? I would personally like to see that. Comment below, let me know, like and subscribe to my channel. This is a SVU, an organized crime reaction channel. If you like this video, I will keep doing more content like this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.